Welcome to this lecture. From this lecture, we'll just start using this website, which is hackthisite.org. And this is the website which will have some of the missions based on the JavaScript code. We'll search for some of the tricks in this mission, and we'll just get good grasp on how this JavaScript code works on the real website. We'll see how this can be work on the websites, on the live website in the upcoming lecture. But from here, we'll just work with the basic missions, some of the missions that will be really useful for the later lectures. So first of all you have to do is go to this website, which is hackthisite.org, and you will just get redirected to this website. And first of all, in the left hand side, you will just get the sign in button. So you have to just log on to your that email or just register. And after registering that email, just make sure you just give the proper email, because it will just check for your email and it will just send the password to your email. So after that, you will just go to this left hand side challenges. So all will just go here is the JavaScript mission. So let me just press on that JavaScript mission. We'll just get these 7 challenges. Maybe let me just count. Okay, these are 7 challenges. So first of all, we'll just start with this idiot test. So let me just click here to take the challenge. So we just click on the left, or basically on the wrong link. So let me just take the challenge. So we'll just get this link or the next page, which is our first JavaScript mission. So here all you have to do is search for the password. So let me just put random password here. So let me say Udemy. So if I just click to this check password, it will say failed. So now what we do have to do is we have to check for the password, which will be the only one password that will just give us the next mission. So all you have to do is just press Ctrl U from your keyboard, or simply you can just get here, that is view page source. So after you do that, you will just get this page which will have all of your HTML documents, all of the link, and we'll just go to this part, which is basically check password button. So we'll just search that. So simply press Ctrl F. It will get this finding page. I'll just say check password, and if I just say check, it will get me this basically this part of the document. And you will see here we have the check password button over here, which will be this button, which is the check password button, and it will just check for this JavaScript. So on click was the event which was basically invoking some of the JavaScript code when you just press this check password button. So when you just press this check password, some of the JavaScript code is going to be executed, and here what it is going to be executed is this check method. So this check method will be executed, and it will just check for some of the password, and it will just give you that. So first of all, what we're doing here is this check method is basically is this function over here. So this check method has to be passed some of the values which we just entered in this field. So this field will have some values, and that values will be passed to this check method. So this check method is responsible for checking our password. So here is the some conditionals, and you'll see that if x is basically the password that you just hit here. So if that x, which is basically our password, is equal, because this double equal is basically for your equal to, and when that password is equal to cookies, you will get alert, which is basically saying that you win. Otherwise it will say false. That means our password should be cookies, all in the lowercase. So let me just pass that cookies. Let me press check password, then it will say win. That means you have just redirect to this congratulations page, because we just pass here cookies. So that means what we did here was we just passed the cookies as a password, and it has get us a alert of win, which was basically simple dialog box. So here we just made use of this check method to check for our password. So if you see in this windows.location, so this was responsible for creating a URL. So if you just go back here, you will see the URL over here, which is saying that, let me just remove this part and go back to level 1, then it will get you the same mission. So after this mission, it will just inject this Windows location. Basically this is responsible for creating the URL. So it is saying you just pass in this label password. So it is same as saying you will just pass here, let me paste first this, and here you will pass cookies because cookies is our password. So this windows.location is responsible for creating the URL. So we just pass label password here, and that password field, which is basically with this parameter. So just remember, anything with this question mark, after this question mark is the parameter. So here we have the parameter. So if you just go on the Google, let me say something like, let me say Sachin Tendulkar. So you'll see that we have the parameter over here, that is with the question mark. So you are searching on the Google, and it is showing that when you just press Sachin Tendulkar, you will just get this link. So what we have here is the question mark and the client. So client is a Firefox, and the another parameter here is Q, which is basically a question, and it is searching a basically query for the Sachin Tendulkar. That means this is the another parameter, which is Q, and we have here that is the label password, which is the parameter. So in this label password, if you just pass cookies, then it will say that, so it hasn't, but it should work. And let me, so something is happening over here because it is not redirecting perfectly, but it should be cookies. Maybe we have just disable JavaScript, so it should be something like cookies. And here you can see you have changed your password to this another field, and it is not showing that same. So if I just hit enter, then it will say that you have redirect to the congratulations page. So just remember, anything that starts with this question mark is your parameter. In the upcoming lecture, where we'll just hunt for the XSS attack, you'll see how this parameter will be vulnerable, and we'll just inject some of the payload in this parameter to see if the websites have the XSS attack or not. So this is our first challenge, and we just pass our first challenge. So let's go back over here. So again we have to just redirect to the JavaScript mission. Let me just remove all of this, and here the next challenge is the simple challenge. It is just showing us to disable the JavaScript. So if you are Mozilla, then all you have to do is go to this option, and instead of preference, I have to do config. So I'll just say config, and it will just give this message, and I'll just say I accept the risks, source for JavaScript, and you'll say in this second parameter here saying that JavaScript.enabled, you have to toggle this value to false. So all you have to do is false this, which is modified. And if you just go back here and refresh this page, and you didn't disable because, okay, so first of all you have to disable this, and we have already. So now if you just close the browser and restart it again, it will just go to the congratulations page, but I don't want to do that. So all I'll do is just make it true. You can just test it because this is a simple challenge. So all you have to do is simply disabling the JavaScript, which is a pretty funny challenge because this doesn't make any sense, but all you have to do is to know how to just make use of this JavaScript. If you are on a Chrome, you can simply search for the JavaScript on the search panel on the settings, and you can just toggle this value to disable. So it is simple and funny challenge. So next challenge is the math time challenge. So let's take this challenge. So it is giving us some of the math problem over here. Let me grab my pen first, and if you just remember, we are just okay. So first of all, I have to make this smaller. So let me just remove this. Let me clear this first. Take my pencil again. So we have now here variable, and in this variable what you have is you have created some of this operation over here. So simply what we did here was we just created the foo variable and we just assign some variable or some value to it. So all you have to do is just simply calculate this value, and I guess its value should be something about 47. So let's check this. So I think it's 47. So let's go over here. So I have just opened the calculator, and now I'll just pass 5 plus 6 plus 7, which is basically simple 5 plus. Okay, so this is now the plus, so I have to just clear this 5, and it is plus 7. Okay, it was into 7. Okay, and we get 47. So 47 was the operation over here, and we get the 47. Now the next is the variable, which is bar variable, and it is going to just do something like 47, and it will do the modulo of 8. So what we did just here is we want to divide first 47 with 8 and get the remainder. So this modulo sign is basically getting a remainder, and it will just store to bar. So me show you 47, and it should be modulo of 8. So what we did here was 47, and first of all you have to divide by 8. Okay, let me create this first. 47 modulo, and it is 8. Okay, this is simply a modulo, so it is dividing. So this should be 47, and divide it first of all with 8, and you will get something that values 5.875. So that means you have to just grab whatever is the remainder. So remainder here would be 7, because if you just multiply again with 8 and multiply it by 5, you'll get 40, and the remainder would be here, that is simply 7. So if you just see here, we just divided 47, which is the value of 4. So here it would be 47, and 47 modulo of 8 would give you 7, because 47, because let me show you, 47 and it is divided by 8 would give you something like 5, which is basically not a remainder. Remainder would be 7, and we just store this 7 to this bar. So now bar will have 7, and now we have the mo. So this variable was created with the bar, which has the value of 7, and if you multiplied 7 with 2, you will get something like 14, and the 14 would be to check over here. So this rar is something like you can do over here. So it will be something like 14 divided by 3. If you divide this, it will get you the something like 3 4. Here the value is 4, so you'll get the 4 over here. But this is useless because rar is not doing anything inside this function. All we care is about this mo. So mo value was 14, so we'll just pass here 14. So what this function is doing is it is just taking our password, which is the field, which is the password over here, and it is checking for that length. If that length was 14, it will give the alert. It will change basically our URL to this label password with the new password here with the length of 14. If the password length is anything other than the length of 14, it will give us alert of false. So let me just try with RRRR. So it will has the length of 4. Let me check the password. It will say incorrect password again because it is going over here. And now again, if I just check with the basically 14, so we have to just check for the 14, and it should have the 14 length. So I'm just checking for, so I'm just putting 14 character over here. Let me just check password, and it is saying you have already done the mission because I have already passed the mission. So I have just redirect to this congratulations page, and if you haven't done this mission or you are doing this for the first time, you'll just get the congratulations page. So we have now completed this 3 tests in this lecture. In the upcoming lecture, we'll just go with these some of the easy and advanced topics. So see you in the next one.